Hello, my name is Andrew Jones, and I'm going to be telling you about the time I spent a week in the hospital. Now, that week was probably the most terrifying week of my life. I spent it a week in there with no idea whether or not I was going to live or if I was going to die in there. Now, moments leading up to me being rushed to the hospital, I encountered a nosebleed. And, I thought I just had a runny nose at first. I was laying in a dark room. And then, I would wipe it and, wipe my hand off on the tissue. But it just kept coming. And then finally I turned the lights on and I realized that there was blood going all down my shirt, all across my pillows, and all over my hands. And I was like, oh no, this is a pretty serious situation. So I ran to the bathroom, tried to wash it off, clean my face up, and it just kept coming. Now, the nosebleed lasted a little bit under an hour, maybe. It was a pretty serious nosebleed that just kept coming and kept coming. And, I think I lost a lot of blood because I started feeling woozy out of it. And, my mom saw me in the bathroom and she was like, yeah, we're going to the hospital. So I get rushed to Children's in Little Rock. And they tell me to just sit in the waiting room and they'll come get me as soon as they can. So I'm sitting there and still feeling woozy, still feeling out of it. And then finally we get in the room and we see a doctor. They can't figure out what's going on with me for a few hours, and they're like, okay, we're gonna have you stay overnight. And in my mind I'm like, okay, this is, I guess, kind of normal. They can't figure out something, they would keep you and try to figure it out, try to help the people they are there to help. And so I'm sitting there in bed, in the hospital bed, just thinking, okay, all these tests, they still haven't found anything. And then finally a nurse comes in the room and she tells me, me and my mom, she tells us both that they're keeping me overnight. And then they tell me after that it's staying until a week. And those two pieces of information were probably an hour apart because they can't figure out what's going on. And so I'm sitting there in bed just thinking to myself, why am I still staying here so long? Like, what's going on? This has to be serious if y'all haven't discovered it yet, figured out what's wrong. And I'm laying there, and, day 1, day 2 passed, and the negative thoughts started seeping in. It's hard to stay somewhere and not know what's going on when something seems so serious, like such a serious situation to be in. And I'm just laying in bed thinking to myself, okay, if they don't figure out what's wrong with me, am I going to die? And that just kept going through my head the entire week I was there, because they would take so much blood tests from me, so many different things. They would come in, examine my body, ask me how I was doing, refill the IV bag, ask me how I'm doing again. And it was just a constant thing happening, like day in, day out. Nurse come in, nurse comes out, and I'm just like, okay, y'all ran so many tests, why have y'all not discovered what's wrong with me yet? And, still no answer. They just kind of going through the motions. And then one day they bring a team of doctors. I think it was like 7 or 8 of them that came in the room. And I'm just sitting there thinking, why is there so many people here and y'all still haven't given me an answer? I need, some answer to help me here. I'm scared. I was a kid in high school, I should be out with friends, having fun. Instead, I'm in a hospital bed, scared out of my mind, not knowing what's going on, and y'all keep telling me that y'all are working as best as y'all can, but y'all don't know what's going on with me. And I'm terrified, I'm sitting there scared, thinking I'm going to die. That's the only thing that kept going through my head, day in, day out. You're going to die, you're going to die, you're going to die. And my mom would ask me day in, day out, are you okay? Can I eat you anything? And, the only thing I could tell her was, yeah, I'm good. I'm fine. I'm making it, doing what I gotta do. And all reality, I don't know what to do. I'm so scared out of my mind that I don't know what to do. And then finally, after a week of being in there, and doctors come in, they give me this generic diagnosis, chronic gastritis, which explained nothing. They said maybe this medicine will help you, maybe it won't. And, that maybe was very unsettling to me. So we left, went to another doctor. He ended up finding out it was a bacterial parasite living in me. We got medicine to kill it, and I felt much better. But, I still felt like, okay, there was so many people in there, and y'all couldn't help me? Like, why did it take so long for y'all to figure out what's wrong with me? But that was easily the scariest week of my life, because the thought of death loomed over me the entire time I was there. And I just didn't know how to tell people that I was terrified as much as I was.